Happy new month, everyone. Happy March. Marching into greatness, marching into breakthroughs, marching into victories, marching into God conquering all, marching into defeating the enemies and seeing our enemies crumble and fall, marching into seeing disgrace, public disgrace of the enemy. So shall it be. Hi, everyone. Come on in, say hello. Come on in, say hello. Come on in, say hello. I know I'm dancing. It's just, hey, Miss Lucy, how are you? Hi, everybody. Happy new month. Happy March. Y'all, this year, I think, is it just me? But I think, and we needed to go fast because we still have, what's 4 years less than whatever month we spent in this new administration. We just needed to go. Anyway, welcome in. Say hello when you come in. Let us know where you're joining in from. Hello, finest Shandy. My sister from another mother. I was actually talking to someone about you today. So the person came to my office and saw that plaque that you made for my birthday. And you're like, what did you get, Alexis? My sister from another mother. Hello, Mr. 𝐨𝐥𝐚𝐥𝐸. And I was like, till tomorrow. Like, she's got her green card, but she gets on my live show. She goes, so why does she join? Because she loves me. Deal with it. Like, yeah. But anyway, it's Tashima from South Florida. Welcome in. Thank you for joining us. Hello, Miss Yvonne. Hi, TikTok family. So I was like, yep, because she loves me. Why not? So I don't take it for granted. I appreciate that very, very much. It's a new month. We're going to decree and declare. Love you back. Decree and declare that God is in control. He remains in control. He is going to defend us against all our enemies. I'm telling you, seen and unseen. His greatness, his goodness and mercy shall follow us. That's what the Bible says. He is God. He says, be still and know that I'm God. Vengeance is mine, says the Lord. So anyone who comes against you in this new month, hey, Mr. 𝒊𝒎𝒏𝒕. Hello, Mr. Ben. How are you feeling? Anyone who comes against you in your household, they have to stumble and fall. You will witness their public disgrace. So shall it be in Jesus' name. Any attack from the enemy, we send back to sender. Anyone who wants to stand in the way of our breakthroughs this month as we march into greatness, God will take them out, silence all opposition on our behalf. Because the Bible says we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers. Whoever it is, wherever they are, that wants to come in, I understand, yeah, that wants to come in and destroy or disrupt God's favor for us. It's whatever their plan is to go back upon them. This is a month to march into greatness. Hey, Mama, my mom was on. March into greatness and march, not march in fear, but march in faith and defeating and conquering all the plans of the evil ones. So shall it be. So if you are just joining us for the first time, welcome in. Thank you. Welcome in. We welcome you. We welcome you to the most positive space on social media platform, or I don't know how Mr. the Secretary says it, but this is where we gather together as immigrants and we talk about our cases. We share our testimonies. We encourage one another. We pray for one another. We block trolls and people who come and try to bring negativity. I'm sure each and every one of us has someone in our life who does that enough already. So this is our space. Hello, Mr. Lale. This is our space where we come together and encourage one another, and it's a safe space for us every Tuesday and Thursdays, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone. Any other time zone, I don't know. Ask Google, Alexa, Siri, anyone you're going to ask. One of those people that are like, what do they call them? AI people. Yeah, ask them. But anyway. Our normal routine is, if we have something to talk about, I something to talk about, we discuss that case. I love to say hi and let everybody know how it's. Yes. So we discuss what we're going to talk about, and then get to questions, as many questions as possible. We usually try to keep within an hour, not, go over that a little bit. Sometimes we have question nights, but tonight we're going to talk about some, things going on in, hello, God's favorite, going on in the immigration world. As you already know, we already expect that there's going to be one kind of executive order, something, somebody's going to, somebody in that White House just wakes up and say, oh, what can we do to immigrants to ruffle their feathers of immigrants today? Yeah, so there we are. But if we can help you with your immigration case, contact our office, 334-341-4475. Visit our website at 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. We will be glad to represent you and take on your immigration cases. Once again, 334-341-4475. It is on all the social media platforms. So if you go on the browse section, you see the phone number there, so you can always call us. Email us at info@𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. So that's another fast, because I am primarily, for instance, I'm hardly on the phone. And I tell clients before you retain my service, you already know my main mode of communication is email. I'm just not productive on the phone. My whole day just goes. I can do it unless it's an important call or someone you just have to discuss over the phone. But for me, my easiest way to communicate is email. And whatever I tell you on the phone, you can easily forget all this. There's always some kind of miscommunication when you're talking and you don't have anything to write it down, or you don't have it written down. So for me, I can always go back to email, or someone says, Sister Leah, so for me, no, I did check your email. So, that's just it. Anyway, all right, people, let's talk immigration. Tonight, I want to talk real quick about, updates and primarily about the buzz about NTAs. What's the buzz about NTAs? NTAs. The NTA means notice to appear in immigration court, notice to appear, and notice to appear where? Notice to appear in immigration court. So, I know we put a post up. I want to see if I can, because someone had reached out like, hey, you said there is a policy, but it's not on their website. Well, I don't know why it's on the website, but I can share with you guys. So we're going to share my screen. No, it's not like I just want to listen. I look forward to sharing good news, but you got to know what's going on so you can be prepared and know what to expect in your case. That's why I love what I do, and that's what I do, so that you guys understand know what to expect. And you're not just blindsided and all that. So, the buzz about NTAs. So this is not a new law. Just to be clear, this is not a new law that they're coming up with in this administration. This has always been, in the sense of, it is part of the Immigration and Nationality Act that when an immigration benefit is denied and the person does not have any lawful status, then they're supposed to be issued in notice to appear in immigration court and answer as to why you should not be removed from the country based on the fact that you're not here legally. It's always been in the Immigration and Nationality Act, so it's not new. However, what makes it different now is this. Because of this whole crackdown on immigrants, right? They are trying to use every means necessary to try to get, hey, Mr. Sanctuary, try to get immigrants deported. That's the mission. They've spent all their budget so far this year on deporting people. So let me share my screen so that you don't say, okay, I just pulled it off from thin air. This is a policy. It's a memorandum that was released on. Thank you, Finance Andy. Amen. This is a policy that was released on February 28th, on Friday, just this 3 days ago, right? 3, 4. Y'all can do the math. Okay, let's see if I can show you. So if you're not on Facebook and YouTube, obviously you're not going to see it. So if you want to come over there, that's fine. But I'll just tell you. And I'm not sure how I can. I would upload it to our Facebook page or ask Kyla to help us upload it. I don't know. Well, she'll figure it out. If there's a way it can be attached to Instagram as well. So at least you have that information. But let me share my screen. So share screen. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Okay. So if you are on Facebook and YouTube, can you confirm that you can see my screen and what's showing on my screen? Anyone on YouTube and Facebook, please confirm for me. Thank you, Mrs. Savannah. Y'all can see my screen? Yes, no, no, yes. I can see y'all. You're all there. So somebody, anybody. Come on, people. Thank you. Okay. Perfect. Hey, Mr. Gabriel, how are you? All right. Oh, awesome. Okay, so here we go. So like I said, it's not a new policy. It is part of the NTA, but the INA, sorry, Immigration Nationality Act, but it hasn't necessarily been enforced that way because a lot of people, there's so many people who file for immigration benefits and cases get denied, or they withdraw their cases, or they just don't respond to RFEs and USCIS denies the case. Whatever the case may be, and never get NTAs, right? Never get referred to immigration court. That's why you see a lot of people, which I have quite a number of clients do that, where they file, the case is denied, and then they file a new case. Go ahead and start all over again, which is always great. One of the things I do by default is if I have a new client who's had a denied case, by default, I go on the immigration court website, put in your alien number just to be sure that you don't have any ongoing immigration court matter. So once we cleared on that, and then we refile everything with USCIS. So that's always been, right? But effective February 28, as you can see on my screen, policy memorandum from USCIS, Department of Homeland Security, and saying issuance of notices to appear in cases involving inadmissible and deportable aliens. So I hate the word aliens, but I'm just reading what they're saying. This is basically saying you're inadmissible and deportable if you're unlawfully present. You're inadmissible if you've got a criminal conviction or criminal conviction. Even as a green card holder, if you have a deportable offense, you can be placed in immigration court with a green card, even if you have a green card. All right, so NTA, that is a form I-864. It's a charging document that instructs an alien to appear before an immigration judge, yada, 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 right? This is where I wanted to understand, who does this apply to? So how are they going to affect this? It's basically almost everybody, truth be told. It's almost everybody. And here's why. Let's go to different cases that it applies to, right? NTA issuance required by statute or regulation. USCIS issues NTAs pursuant to statute or regulation in the following circumstances. And here are the circumstances. I'm not sure who it's not going to involve. Number one, termination of conditional permanent resident status and denials of petitions to remove conditions to residency. So for those who file I-751 to get your 10-year green card, it used to be hardly, there's some states that are notorious for sending you NTA concurrently with that termination letter, but hardly would you get, because I can't even tell you how many times I get a client where we have to refile an I-751, but they're saying this is one of their ways to be able to get immigrants out of the country. That's just basically because they're the ones doing these expedited removals and breaking and violating immigrants' due process rights. And so if they can get you into immigration court, then, try to, hopefully you even make it see a judge before being removed, because obviously they're not following the law. That's just the truth of the matter, right? Okay. Oh, okay. So if you file an I-751, you're included in that. And then you see termination of conditional permanent for those who file for investors, EB-5 applicants. For those like right here on my screen, where I'm highlighting asylum, those who file asylum, so I'm including asylum referrals, termination of asylum, and termination of withholding of removal. But if you have deferred action like DACA, it's not applicable to you, because that's the whole point of the deferred action. Deferred action, unless somebody violates their terms, for instance, get in trouble, get a conviction, then that's different. Okay, so let's keep going. If you have criminal cases, then they're going to prioritize that. This is an area where I want. So if you have an asylum case, that has always been. Asylum is just by default. If you've got no other lawful status, by default, they refer you to immigration court. But now they're saying routinely, and they're going to strictly adhere to issuance of NTAs with your denial notices. That's just the bottom line of this. If you get a case denied, you're getting an NTA. So expect that. Okay. This is going to right here, fraud and misrepresentation, primarily going to apply to many people who file marriage-based cases. Example would be if they find that you submitted fraudulent documents, and we've got, especially if you're from where I'm from, or a lot of African countries deal with that. I don't know of any other region that really is affected by accusation of fraudulent documents. So if you submit something fraudulent, and they may deny your case because of that, and if that's the case, then it's going to be an issuance of NTA with your denial. So basically, if USCIS they'll issue NTAs in cases where they believe that there's substantiated fraud or material misrepresentation. And an example of material misrepresentation that may not be material to you, but it may be considered material, is if you indicated in your visitor visa application that you were married in order for you to get a visitor visa, and then you get here, you file your green card application, and then you is gone, like, okay, because life goes on. USCIS has access to your Department of State records. They have access to your DS-160, any information you have submitted, any documents you presented, they have access to that. They compare notes and say, oh, no, not too fast, by the way. This is what she said back then. Keep in mind that it's not just about when you file initially, because, they dropped the ball, initially for a lot of people when they initially filed. But right now, they're using a subsequent application to review your file. Subsequent applications would include when you file an I-751, when you file your N-400 application. They use that to see where you lawfully admitted from the beginning. And so if they pull up your DOS, Department of State's record, and it contradicts your information you presented when you go to your green card, and they believe it was a material misrepresentation, or you obtained the green card by fraud. And another example would be if it was a fraudulent marriage, USCIS is going to issue you an NTA. There's no way around that. And this is the part you have to understand. Look here, this is the part. They'll issue an NTA upon adverse action of the benefit request or other unfavorable determination. Here's the part you need to pay attention to. An NTA will still be issued against an immigrant in a removable alien, even if the petition or application is denied for a ground other than fraud, such as lack of prosecution or abandonment. So you have an annoyed or an RFE that was sent to you. Some lawyers would say, "Oh, we can't overcome this. Just don't respond." And you don't respond, your case is going to be deemed abandoned. Once they send you the denial notice, they're going to send your notice to European Immigration Court, especially if they believe that there was reason. Maybe the reason you didn't respond is because, and that's why I always tell people, I don't care how. Really, I don't care what kind of evidence or lack thereof you're dealing with. I just don't feel comfortable not responding, because not responding sometimes is almost as if you've accepted that whatever allegations they're made in a NOID, especially, or an RFE, you're almost saying with your silence, and that's true. Even if you may be a case where I want to gather more evidence and all that, but I always say let's respond. So you're fighting it, and you have the record to show you're fighting it. So if you're abandoning your case, meaning you don't respond to it like a NOID RFE, if you withdraw the case, so sometimes you get annoyed and like, okay, I just can't overcome this, or I need more time to be able to get new evidence. If you withdraw that case, or if the approval is revoked, anything other than just saying fraud, as long as they believe there was fraud or material misrepresentation, then they are going to issue an NTA. And the thing about fraud is this: if you're sent to immigration court based on fraud, that ups the ante in your case. Like, you probably end up having to apply for a fraud waiver or 237H waiver in court, which gets really, really messy. So that's the thing about NTAs. It's not like I just pull that information out of nowhere. Now, this is what they're saying, that if we're denying your case, expect that we're also going to send you an NTA. So what is the takeaway from here? This type of NTA, that's a good one. Takeaway is, now more than ever, before you submit your case, please, if there's no, it's not mandatory to have a lawyer in your case. I'm not sure why anyone would do anything in these times without an attorney. Even as attorneys, we get confused each day because there's always something to wake up to. So I'm not sure why you would do that, but to each their own. But even if you're going to do that, please do yourself a favor, and at the very least have someone be on your case, even if it's to help you prepare your applications and whatever the case may be, or have do. If you do not know what you had indicated in your previous file, an example would be you don't know what you said when what was your marital status? Did you give a name of a spouse? Did you indicate that you had 300 kids and now you said you have 0? You have no clue what you indicated. Do a FOIA request of your records first. FOIA request, basically requesting that USCIS sends you a complete copy of your file. So most of the time, if you put in entire alien record, it should include your non-immigrant visa application that allows you to see what it is that you put in there. Hey, Miss Stanley, absolutely. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of paperwork. And I can't even tell you where how many people would consult, like, I can take you from here, please. I'm like, we will gladly do that. But if you are in a place where you're stuck in the middle, you would have been better off coming to me at first, because then I have to do a FOIA request of your record. There's some cases, most cases, I don't even touch until I've done a FOIA request, because I don't know what's in your history. I'm not going to. It's like flying blindly. I need to know what you have done before I can commit to representing you. So it's just best to save yourself that trouble and just start with an attorney from the beginning, and knowing now that if your case gets denied, it's going to be an NTA issued almost immediately with your denial. This is the time you want to make sure that you put all your ducks in a row, cross all your T's, dot all your I's. Look at how the administration treats leaders of other countries. I mean, you got the president from Ukraine came to visit and see how he was humiliated. So imagine what there's just no talent. So do yourself a favor and do what you need to do for yourself in your case. Now, that's that on NTAs. Like I said, we will, if you want a copy of that, send us an email, but I will ask Kyla, our social media girl, to see how she can attach the file somehow. I don't do tech stuff. Listen, could you phone at a computer, anything beyond that, and count me out. Now, if it's to argue, count me in. That's why I don't have a boyfriend, because I've argued everybody out of my life. What can I tell you? It is what it is. But really, it's going. That man that's going to have the patience of his saints is the first thing God has to send my way, because dealing with me is like dealing with 3 times Margaret Thatcher. I'm just saying. But I know that I'm the problem. So if you already know that, acknowledge when this problem have solved. So if you're strong enough, come on. You're welcome. But anyway, so another thing, if you are in the middle of filing your green card application, we woke up. Yeah, I told you that we wake up each day. It's just something. Woke up yesterday, March 3rd, 2025. I sent 3 cases over the weekend. Sometimes I bring work home. What can I tell you? And that's just me. Because I set deadlines for myself. I always tell my clients that the longest delay in our firm is with me, just because I just cannot send any case out without reviewing it. I just can't. I've got too much OCD to do that. Not because I don't trust my staff, but because it's that I would have sleepless nights if I don't. And I think that's good for my clients that I have sleeplessness, but I got it. So I sent 3 cases out on Saturday. They're all delivered yesterday. The issue is Yesterday is when USCIS decided they were going to release the new form I-485, which is your green card application, which they've already made 250 million pages already. But now there ain't much change, just the date of the edition date. That's all. And now they released the form yesterday. Usually there's usually a grace period, like they'll tell you, okay, effective whatever date, we will no longer accept. No, it was released yesterday, and the new edition is effective as of the time of release. So if you go on their USCIS website, Form I-485 we have a new edition date of January 20 when this administration took over, and it became effective yesterday. So I'm like, okay, so all that you received yesterday, y'all really going to send all 3 cases back? Like, pull my hair out already. But that's what we're living in right now. That's the update with the form. So know that if you're filing an I-485, the form has changed. So you've got to make sure you do that. You take it. You take notice of that. So let's see. What else was I going to say? Looking at my notes. Anyway, I think that's and that's all she wrote, people. That's all she wrote. That's all she wrote. Okay. All right. Let's get to questions. Let's see. So just so you know, the more you know, the more you know. Knowledge is power. Hey, Mr. Jude, how are you? Hello, Miss Christiana, how are you? Hello, the other Miss Christiana, how are you? Yeah, once again, as a reminder, we come every Tuesday, Thursdays, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone. Positive platform where we share immigration journey testimonies and encourage one another, pray for one another, and cast and bind the devil and his cahoots. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see. Please share. Yeah, exactly. Please share. We would very much appreciate it if you can. Hello, Jay. Thank you. Not hiring an attorney is penny wise and pound foolish. F-A-F-O. I didn't say it. He did. So I didn't say it. But I mean, to each their own. But even if it's just to review, like I'll tell you upfront, I don't review files. I don't all review applications for you to submit. I just don't, because and it depends on each attorney. State bars are different. In my state, for instance, in Alabama, anything you do on behalf of a client carries liability. So even if my contract says, even if you have a contract that says my work is limited, scope of representation is limited to a review of your file, and that's it, that ends the representation right there. If you if you're not running into an issue and it was something somebody missed, or the wrong information that the client had given you and it was not caught, or you didn't verify that information, the fact that you've already engaged in review of that, whatever consequence they have to deal with from that, you as the attorney, even though that's the end of representation, by my state bar rules, you are still liable. So I don't even touch things like that at all, because we have to carry malpractice insurance. That's just too much to go into. Well, anyway, all right. Disclaimer: answers to questions are general in nature, nothing specific to anyone's case. So yeah. Oh, by the way, there's supposed to be an executive order that English is the official language of the United States. Talk about waste of time, money, every resource possible. Like, what else do you speak in this country, Miss Stanley? Like, what else y'all speak? Even trying to make Spanish its secondary language, half of America doesn't speak that. So, what is the purpose of the? I don't know. I just don't know. But that's an update for y'all. Oh, another update. Good news. IRS right now at this time. Exactly. What is not in English? IRS at this time has refused to release names and address information of undocumented immigrants to DHS, because it said no, it's going to violate their privacy rights. We ain't going to do it. IRS and playing it with their money. IRS wants their money, so IRS ain't playing with nobody. So that's good news to you, because obviously they want to use that information to do immigration crackdown. Now we don't know because he knows how to threaten people to do what he wants. We may wake up tomorrow, IRS says, you know what? Yes, it's for national security. We just don't know. But for right now, let's celebrate that good news that people's information is, and people, because I know someone was like, okay, how do you even file taxes as an undocumented immigrant? You can apply for a tax ID for tax purposes. So, you can use that to now file your taxes, which is a good thing because it helps you down the road. That even though it was not supposed to work, I filed my taxes. Now they want to turn around and use that information against people. I mean, the height of wickedness I've never seen. But anyway, will the NTA stop applicants from simply just refiling their I for a second time if initially denied by? It's not going to stop you, because if you, for instance, if you're placed in immigration court, and obviously if you don't, you have to have an underlying basis to file another I-485. But you can file an I-485 even while you are in court, as long as you've got an underlying basis, like a new I-130, a VAW petition that it makes you eligible to file a new one. It's just that you would have to file it in court, because if you file with US, which you can, USCIS just is going to admin close your case. If you're in immigration court, they lose jurisdiction. Even if you file with them before you got to court, they won't admin close your case until you're done with court. But the judge also can adjudicate your I-485 if you've got an online petition that's been approved. What if I have a VAW I-485 pending but want to file an AOS through marriage? Would withdrawing the current VAW but submitting at the same time the new marriage AOS could risk NTA? It could. We're yet to see how this is going to play out. What you may want to do is, I'm not sure why you want to withdraw a VAW case, and because something must have made you file by in the first place, and there's no guarantee that your I-130 is going to go faster than the VAW if that's the goal. But it may be, disclaimer, general information. You may want to include a cover letter. You may want to get an attorney, number one. You may want to include a cover letter saying, the reason I'm withdrawing this is because my spouse and I made up and they're filing for me again. You can transfer your I-485 from the VAW case to an I-130 sale, so that you don't have to withdraw that one. Okay. Can I use my automatic renewal receipt for work authorized to go get my Texas driver's license? Every state's DMV is different. You're going to have to find it from your DMV. All righty. Olamipo from Maryland, how are you? What do you expect from an N400 I-751 joint interview? Questions about your marriage. Anything about how long something is taking, go on USCIS.gov/processing time to find out about processing time for any application or petition. And please do not repeat questions. I would really appreciate that. When is the best time to talk to you? When you pay for consultation. Should my husband use my married name on our joint tax return without Social Security yet? Thanks a lot. You can apply for a tax ID, but you don't need a Social Security. Everybody always say that you do, but you don't to be able to file tax. I've had cases where people just put, I guess, just talk to your tax preparer. If in worst case scenario, apply for a tax ID. But your name can be on the taxes without any issue. Submitted your EAD under asylum to USCIS, total of 180 days, but it's being 8 days since. So what's your question? Was married to a U.S. citizen, now divorced, filed an I-751 divorce and extreme cruelty, just got approved. Is congratulations, is N400 3 of, it depends on what basis you got approved. If you got approved on divorce, it's going to be 5 years. If you got approved based on abuse, then it's going to be 3 years. Your approval notice will tell you that there's I think it's section 216C. Don't quote me on that, but I think so. It will specifically state that on your approval notice. That will let you know it's abuse based. If it doesn't state that, usually it's going to be divorce. It just depends, because they can decide whichever ground to approve it on. It's been more than 2 weeks. They didn't cash my check for my removal condition. So what's your question? Okay. Please do not repeat questions. I will skip your question if you repeat it, please. If I had a citizenship interview and they asked if I'm married and I said no, but we'll get married next week, but on the swearing form, that's I have been married after my interview. Okay, so what's your question? Okay, answer that. Like okay. And I said yes. Will that be a problem? If your marital status just depends on what it is on the day you're asked the question, because obviously you can be unmarried when you have your interview, and then by the time you have your oath ceremony, anything. I mean, people can get married the next day. But you're required to inform them if any information has changed. They always say that even on the day of your oath ceremony, they will ask you that. So you just notify them of the change in your information. Can you file for removal of conditions on your own, I guess you mean on your green card before 90 days? Only if you're filing a self petition. If you're filing a self petition, divorce, abuse, extreme hardship, death, then you can file the very next day you get your 2-year green card. However, if you're filing a joint petition to remove the conditions of your residency, you've got to wait the 90 days before the 2nd year anniversary. Can I file if my husband wants an annulment? File it before he gets his way. As long as they get it before then, you should be fine. General information. If you're unsure, go speak to a lawyer. I have an added stamp. Am I safe? Are you safe from what? How can I get to know about my priority date if my I-130 has been approved? Your priority date will be on the approval or the receipt notice. Go on the DOS website, look at the current visa bulletin, what your preference category is, and you will see what they're currently working on. I have a green card for 3 years and my mom is a U.S. citizen. Can I file in my citizenship early? What does your mom being a citizen have to do with you being a green card? Unless you are under the age of 18. If you're under the age of 18, then you should have acquired citizenship. But I guess you're not, because if you're talking of having to file, that has nothing to do with your mom's citizenship. Yen, if I knew you repeated your questions so many times, I would have skipped it. Someone who entered the border but inspected by the DHS, is he illegal? No, the fact that you were inspected doesn't make you illegal. They can parole you in, doesn't give you any status. Is it true that many marriage-based green card are being called for second interview? I wouldn't generalize that, but I'll tell you that I'm seeing an uptick in consults for people who had approved I-130s, but the I-45 was still pending, and they get called back for interviews. So it's not on. So, and I have a case right now where they sent a notice of intent to revoke the approval of the I-130. So it's faking what's going on right now. Okay, let's see. I-45 and I-130 was approved last week. Congratulations. And today they said card is being produced. It's not my green card. If it's showing, if the card is being produced, is showing under your I-45, then that's your green card. How would you not know if your green card, if you, I am, did you file it yourself? If you had a previous denial of an I-130 in 2023, can you be placed in deportation under the new policy? As long as it's denied, they can, because they can pull up your file like, oh, by the way, we need to send you an NTA. Here you go. It's possible. Okay. Okay. Which categories of people are at risk the most when their application is denied? I just talked about that, so you can replay the video. I-130 has been approved, but asylum case still in court. Can she apply for green card? That can be a relief that you can, an application for relief that can be applied for in court based on the I-130 approval. No, if back in the day of, like, when I say back in the day, like just a few months ago when Biden was still in office and PD was still the order of the day, that would have been the fastest route to go. Seek PD requests based on an approval, get yourself out of court, and then file the green card. But PD is almost dead right now. My mom's immigrant visa is still under consular review even after DNA test. So what's your question? Okay. Alrighty, let's see. Will the lack of a real ID credential prevent undocumented immigrants from flying from one state to another here? Once it goes into effect, which is going to be in 2 months, if it doesn't change, this new policy will only increase immigration court battle. Absolutely. Especially because they fired so many judges from court. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. But hey, listen. The math is not mathing in that White House right now. So what can we say? I'm sure that a lot of those people who voted, that they can't really come out and say that they really messed up because they'll be too ashamed to say that. But here we are. Here we are. Here we are. Okay. Always looking good. Yes, it's wonderful. Thank you, 𝐸𝐸𝐸. I appreciate that. It's a new month, that's why. Let's see. Okay. I'm in love with these 𝒊𝒎𝒂𝒏𝒕s. I can't really hide my feeling. And sorry. I don't even know what to say, but thank you. My oldest are like, hey, like when SJ had braces, I was like, hey, mom, are you going to close your gap? I'm like, gap is older than your. What I really told him, I said, if you don't sit yourself down and have like 200 seats, leave the gap alone. Don't know this gap is a thing of beauty in between Timothy. People literally are trying to get gaps. God gave it naturally. Why didn't you close it? For what? No, we ain't closing nothing. Leave it alone. Let it be. It allows my mouth to breathe too. Hello, Island Girl. How are you? Okay, let's see. Very loyal, praise God. Thank you. Love Lavina Mart _Mart. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Alan Girl. Thank you. Is it safe to go for an AOS interview with visa overseas? You don't have a choice. And that's why I said just make sure you have your consultant with a lawyer. Just making sure work with a lawyer from the beginning and just make things a lot easier for yourself. If we were still under Biden, people won't stress. But all of this information given to you is not to make you afraid. It's to make you knowledgeable. And so when you're informed, you can make informed decisions, right? So that's the whole point. But obviously, you have to go for an interview. Hello, Miss Nalachi. How are you? Hello, Mr. Henry. How are you? Finest Chinese says, let's see. Welcome, everyone, to the most positive immigration space on social media platforms, safest space to celebrate immigration victories and ask questions about new policies with moi. May the blessings and rewards of this holy month of Ramadan shine and bring new things to our lives. Amen. Inshallah. By this, that was from Finest Jenny. All right, let's see. No worries, Mr. Sanctuary. Hey, what matters is that you're here. Once again, contact 334-341-4475. Just put in Let's put into Olale Law from Google to give you that information. What is ATA? No ATA, NTA, notice to appear. That's the charging document that you give it to European Immigration Court. Again, it's official ceremony. Thank you. Okay. Hey, Miss Stanley, how's the little girl doing? How old is she now? How's Mr. Ernest doing as well? No, it's not Nigerian Television Authority. It's not. What is the next action to take if someone receives the NTA? Get a lawyer. That will be the next action to take. And then you figure it, and then you work together figuring out what your application for relief is going to be. She and her team took great care of us. Thank you. We're very happy for you and your family as well. My friend fixed her papers already, but she just stuck on sponsorship. Can you help explain it? My friend fixed her papers already, but she's just stuck on sponsorship. Can you help explain it to? I don't understand your question. Let's see. What's the time? Okay. Thank you, Miss Knowledge, for letting him know not to repeat questions. I would have skipped it if I knew. It's going to be a long ride, 3 years and 10 months to go. Mr. Minutes counting. Listen. What if you have an active protective order against you for domestic violence and criminal charges on? Okay, can they deport you while your asylum case is pending? They can deport you, but if your asylum case is with USCIS, they can issue you an NTA based on those criminal charges. Okay. What if you get a divorce while having your temporary green card for less than a year? Will you still be okay to get your permanent? It's possible. If someone has a 2-year green card and they get divorced, they can always file for the 751 for the 10-year based on divorce grounds. Immigration denied my case because my spouse lied about life. What does that mean? What does that mean? What do you mean? What does that mean? What does that mean about what? That they lie? I don't know. Yeah. He just wants to sign stuff. I think somebody must have made him some really special pens that he's just like, I'm a pen connoisseur. Like I love pens. I don't know why. I am known to go to places and people just are like, okay, if Abby has been to your office and you have a great writing pen, just know you ain't gonna find it. We listen, we don't judge. If you want to judge yourself. I will take your pen. I'm just letting you know. Everybody who knows, I go to complete strangers' office like, I love this pen. And I just hold it. Most of the time, I just even don't know that I'm still holding it out of the place. I get back to my, I was like, I'm a Jenny Penny low, but it is what it is. Yeah, so I think someone made him some pens and like, oh yeah, this is nice. IRS needs their man. Nobody messing with their paper. Tell me, tell me about it. They already sent me because I filed extension. Like I don't have on my tax papers. They already sent me what my estimated tax. I can't remember the last time I got a refund from the U.S. government. But they're so quick to send me, hey, by the way, this is lawyer 𝒊𝒎𝒏𝒕. Uncle Sam. Hey, the man needs to share in the whole year. It's like, and for me, I am because I'm a head of household, yeah, but I don't have any. I have one dependent that I claim, my oldest kid, but that's it. my accountant says I have to go look for a hobby because you're just working for the government. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's working for the government. Do you handle H-1B visas? I do. Can a brother travel to Canada for a visa with a 10-year? Who's a brother? Like brother in the sense I'm Niger brother or your brother? Okay. For a visa with a 10-year green card and a valid Nigerian passport without collecting. What kind of collection? What collection are you doing? Anyway, okay, let's see. Hey, Miss Ola, how are you? Longest time. Hey, Miss Peggy, happy new month to you as well. How's TJ? TJ, yeah, my baby is fine. T boy, my baby. We're into track and field now. Since basketball season is over, we're always into one thing or the other. I'm telling you, y'all. When the rain started today, you know how as a parent you're not saying anything. Hey, baby boy, they're asking of you. The folks on live. I want to say hi. Never wears, doesn't like wearing clothes. Can you see a six pack? Like literally here, I was like, what's going on? Hey, baby boy, you good? I'm gonna give you some medicine before you go to bed. That's my baby boy. I'm obsessed with my kids. Not obsessed in that way, but yes, was denied by immigration. Released with Louisville, Georgia. Can your lawyer speak in your defense during asylum? Lawyers can't. Yes, we are actually allowed to give opening statement, closing statement, summary. Yes, so they can. I always do. I always prepare something because I ain't gonna just sit there. I ain't doing it. It's all went for 2 years. Condition and immigration said they need to investigate the case. Can the person still join military and get citizenship? I'm not in the military, but you've got to have a status. You've got to have obviously you still have status because the I-751 is still you're still a permanent resident even while your I-751 is pending. So you can join the military and file for your citizenship. The benefit of that is if you get called in for the citizenship interview, then they don't actually. If you are in the military, they do not have, because those in the military do not have to file an I-751. So, example, you get your 2-year green card, you join the military, you can actually file your citizenship after joining the military without an I-751, even on the conditional green card. So you can do that, even if they haven't made a decision yet. Soon you will have to say, "Hey, big man, for my kid." The look at his lawyer's face, future wife, be ready to share the baby. One look at my face. I have a look at my face. I mean, I don't know. Listen, those kids, if y'all, God, don't you mean with pregnancy? So you would have to say big is, I mean, this 14-year-old baby boy. Okay. My question is not coming through. What is your question? My wife can fall in love with gap teeth in a second. I have a semi-gap, and I can tell how she admires my gap teeth. Oh, this gap teeth has caused commotion before and has gotten him in. What can I say? Just ignore me. See. Can you tell I'm in a good mood? But thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see. What's the time? Almost on time. Let's see if I can. After the I already seen. I already answered that. That makes me so nervous. My interview is coming up. Any tips? I'm hoping you've got a lawyer. But if you go on our Instagram page at Olalaya Immigration, I have a link to 100 questions. Those are questions that I have compiled over the years of going to interviews with clients, and so it's there for people to practice. It's free. So you can start there, and hopefully things work out. And then probably get an attorney to, even if you just get an attorney to appear for the interview at the interview with you, it helps. because you don't even know if you're going to be separated. Having an attorney there is able to take notes on questions you're each asked individually if you have to be separated, so you can now compare notes after the interview. So there's just a lot of advantage to do that, especially now. Interview for I-485, but I-130 has not been approved. Can both be approved at the same time? Yes. My student visa is expired and I just got married. Do I need a lawyer? You're asking a lawyer if you need a lawyer. Can I get some information about T visa? I don't do that anymore. Okay. Is there any way to fast track mom immigrant visa? You can always contact your senator, send a letter to them at the NVC. There's a whole lot you can do. Or embassy, I should say. Can I file for naturalization? My removal of conditions has been pending for over 9 months, as long as you qualify. And I just answered your question, and so that you repeated the question at least 4 times. I don't know why people do this, I'm telling you. I have an older removal, but an old order of removal, but the case was dismissed in 2012. Is it safe to anything about travel? That's something you discuss with your lawyer. How do you remove the conditions of a fiance for someone who did get green card but it expired? They would remove the conditions and file based on either divorce, extreme hardships. If you're not sure, then you guys need to sit down with a lawyer. That's what lawyers are for. It's not for you to figure out something that a lawyer can help you with. I cannot file for my husband because his prior green card is obtained through a fiance. There's no reason why to file for him if he's removing his conditions in his residency. He can do a self-petition from one of the grants that he qualifies for. How are you? You do that? Yes, we do, Miss Aminette. Okay, yeah, okay. Alrighty, people. Is unsolicited evidence good to send in online? Count for a case to facilitate approval for? You can. I usually don't refrain from that if they haven't sent a request for evidence, but you can. Nothing stops you from doing that. The question is, are they going to see it? They may not. So, okay, let's see. All right, I think we got everybody's question in good time. Yes, look on. Okay, thank you. Well, I got only boys. Excited to I don't know what happened today. Today's March 4th. Okay, what's the office? Like if I ate, yeah, Banky, what's my mom? My mom makes the best of bono. Y'all, I'm not even kidding you. Not because she's my mother, because there's some things that she makes that I don't think is the best. I just said that out loud. I know my mom is a great cook. Don't get me wrong, but when it comes to bono, I tell you, even Jesus cannot make that one more than the people who gatekeep the kitchen in heaven. No, sir, ma'am. And so it's not like I ate that today, so I don't know, but it's God's grace. Grace will give you. And I'm dealing with some stuff in my personal life right now that hanging on to grace, and God's favor, and fighting on your battles and waiting on testifying very soon, God willing. So you got to keep going and make sure nobody steals your joy. That's something I try to do each day. Well, anyway, so those are the updates for in the immigration world right now. If you are in the process of submitting your I-485, make sure you are using the new form. And it's always good practice, absolutely. Good practice is before you submit any application, go on USCIS website on their form section. And thank you, Ms. Abed, and make sure that the form edition you have is the one that is acceptable. But we have started a new month. This is a month of grace, a month of joy. His goodness and mercy will lead the way. We are going to march with in faith and not in fear. God is going to give us that which we cannot even begin to imagine. We're marching into breakthroughs. We're marching into favor of God. We're marching into fulfilled promises. We're marching into the will of God for each and every one of us. Whatever it is that we're still waiting on, we're going to march into it, God willing. He's going to open doors that nobody can even. It would surprise us beyond our prayers. Like you ain't seen nothing like God's grace bringing you beyond what you prayed for. That's what March is going to bring for us. We will not grieve over our children. We will not be victims of tragedy. He will exempt us from any tragedy. And as we continue this month, God will keep us. He would be our guide. He will be our shield. He will give us grace. He would cover us. We're going to be permanently protected from anyone. If they think they want to capture whoever, it's not going to be us. We will not be victims of embarrassment. We will not be victims of disgrace. God will speak on our behalf. His grace will go before each and every one of us. So shall it be this month and beyond. I'll see you guys on Thursday. Bye, everybody.